Hello and welcome to Bookish Brits. I'm Rex, and this month I'm going to be talking about a book I really didn't like. So, a while back, I bought a whole bunch of slightly darker, morbid books because of their titles, and I read a book about death in London and burying people, and it was fascinating, and I really liked it. It was by Catherine Arnold, and it was fantastic. So, as well as Necropolis, I picked up Necropolis Railway because I thought, that'll be fun. A fiction book around the Necropolis Railway, fantastic. So it was by Andrew Martin, and I was away, and I was reading a book that was really bumming me out, and I'd read about 75% of it, and I was just like, I don't want to finish it. It's making me miserable. I'd rather pick it up at another time. So I'll give the murder mystery a go. And I was like, there's like 8 of these, so if I like the first one, I've got a whole series to read, and they're tiny. Look, they're teeny tiny little. Is it even 200 pages? It's 220. That's a quick read. It's a quick read. So I thought. I started reading on a plane. The plane was a 7-hour flight, 220 pages, half the flight, no problem. Apart from, was bored. I was bored in chapter 1. I was bored all the way through. And I kept reading because I was like, it's tiny. It's short. This will take no time. How bad can it be? I was like, there's 8 books in this series, or maybe 9. There's a lot. These are Jim Stringer, Steam Detective. Doesn't that sound like it should be good? Like it should be fun? But no. I found the main character, Jim, miserable and, there's very little to his personality. Nothing about him connected with me at all. And then he sort of fancies his landlady, but then goes off with a prostitute and then regrets it. And you're just like, it was so weirdly out of character for him, for what little character he has. It's weirdly out of character when that happens. I don't even know why it was in there. It did nothing for the book. It was just a bit weird. But that's just one incident among him basically going to work and people not being very nice to him and weird stuff happening around him on the railway. And you're just like, every page I was like waiting for it to get good. I was waiting for me to care. I was just have one character I remotely liked. Nothing in the entire book. Even when we get to the crescendo, and there I was 3.5 hours into the flight, being like, oh, we're at the end. Oh yeah, and then he attacks them. Boring. I couldn't stand it. People, please. I mean, this is published. Is it Faber who publishes it? Who are usually quite a reliable. Yeah, Faber and Faber. It's quite a reliable publisher for pretty highbrow books. And this is the hilarious thing. The writing style, I think, is so busy trying to be good, it's painful. It's painfully dull. Like, I'm going to read you the intro of this book and you can see why I was like, this is how it starts and it doesn't get better. Chapter 1, Saturday 14th of November 1903. With the letters from Roland Smith in my pocket, I had a lively ride from York to London, just 4.5 hours in all. The engine was one of the new Atlantic of Mr. Ivett, and when she came down Stoke Bank, I put aside the railway magazine I was reading and leaned out the window at the carriage end to experience the amazing velocity. After Peterborough, I took down my box and opened the parcel my dad had packed for me, which turned out to be contained of 3 tubs of Melton cream for my boots and 2 tins of nugget polish. Also for my boots. My dad was red hot for smartness, smart boots especially. There was an alarm clock too. No. Do you know how much he goes on about trains? It's too much. Too much. There is so much about steam engines in there. I don't think this was written for a murder mystery audience. I think it was written for train nerds. And that's fine if you love trains. I understand why you would love trains. They're fantastic. But I'm also not interested in reading about trains and their gauges and their tracks when I want a murder mystery. It just... No. it's not what I want. And it goes into a weird amount of detail for a murder mystery book at no point, I would understand if at some point the type of train, the something about the engineering, like something about it was pertinent to the story. But none of it is. Not even a little bit. I would have liked a warning on the back of the book to tell me that. So, with my misery, I would say don't pick these up unless you like tedium or you really like trains. In which case, 9 books, have at it. If someone did like these, please let me know why. Because I'm confused, I'm baffled. It feels like someone went, oh, what would a sort of semi-literary train murder mystery look like? And I can tell you, it's this and it's rubbish. So I get other people, like apparently the Daily Mirror was like a brilliant murder mystery. There's nothing brilliant about it. I don't even know who these other people are that reviewed it, but like one was like, oh, we'll make the flesh creep in the skin. I wish it made my flesh creep and skin crawl. It made my skin crawl from boredom and anxiety. But there you are. There you are. So if anyone wants this, before I give it to the charity shop, let me know and I'll give it to you and you too can be miserable. And that's all I have to say about that. I will see you next month and hopefully I'll be less grumpy. Take care.